Every single day, over 7 million people take to the skies worldwide, and every single one of those flights depends on a group of people who never leave the ground. These are the air traffic controllers, and what they do in just one shift is absolutely mind-blowing. Right now, somewhere above us, there are over 700 aircraft in flight across the United States alone. That's roughly one airplane for every 35,000 Americans, all moving at hundreds of miles per hour, and somehow they never crash into each other. How is that even possible? Today we're going inside the most intense workplace in aviation, the air traffic control tower. We'll show you exactly what happens during a typical day, the split-second decisions that keep millions of people safe, and why this job is considered one of the most stressful careers on the planet. Let me paint you a picture of what we're dealing with here. At the busiest airports, controllers manage over 2,600 takeoffs and landings every single day. That's one aircraft movement every 33 seconds for 16 hours straight. But here's the kicker. They can't make a single mistake, not one. Because when air traffic control fails, the consequences ripple across the entire global aviation system. The day starts early for air traffic controllers, often before sunrise. As they arrive at the tower, they're stepping into what's essentially a three-dimensional chess game where every piece is worth millions of dollars and carries hundreds of lives. The tower itself rises hundreds of feet above the airport, providing a commanding view of the runways below. But visibility is just one tool in their arsenal. Inside the control room, the atmosphere is electric with concentration. Multiple radio frequencies crackle with pilot communications. Radar screens display dozens of moving targets, and controllers coordinate using a language so precise that every word has been standardized internationally. There's no room for casual conversation here. Every syllable matters. Let's follow the journey of a typical flight from the controller's perspective. It begins long before the aircraft even starts its engines. Flight plans are generated and reviewed, weather conditions are analyzed, and the complex puzzle of scheduling begins. Controllers must consider aircraft type, destination, fuel requirements, and dozens of other variables just to determine when a plane can push back from the gate. The ground controller takes charge first, directing aircraft along the maze of taxiways. Imagine trying to coordinate rush hour traffic, except the vehicles are 150-foot-long aircraft worth over $100 million each, and there are dozens of them moving simultaneously. The ground controller must keep track of every aircraft's position, destination runway, and clearance status while maintaining safe separation at all times. As aircraft approach the runway, responsibility shifts to the local controller. This person has perhaps the most critical job in the tower. They're the final authority on takeoffs and landings. When they say cleared for takeoff, they're giving permission for a 400-ton machine to accelerate to 180 miles per hour and launch into the sky. The trust placed in this single phrase is staggering, but the real magic happens in the sequencing. Controllers don't just randomly assign takeoff and landing slots, they're constantly optimizing the flow of traffic like a master conductor, orchestrating a symphony. Aircraft heading in different directions can be spaced closer together than those following the same path. A controller might delay one flight by 60 seconds to create a perfect gap that allows 3 other aircraft to depart in rapid succession. The mental workload is extraordinary. Controllers routinely track and manage up to 30 aircraft simultaneously, each with different speeds, destinations, and requirements. Studies show the human brain can typically hold only 7 items in short-term memory, yet these professionals somehow juggle 4 times that number while making life-or-death decisions. Weather adds another layer of complexity. When visibility drops to near zero, controllers rely entirely on radar and advanced positioning systems. They're literally guiding aircraft they cannot see through approaches and departures, trusting in technology and their training to maintain separation. On clear days, they might handle 130 aircraft movements per hour. In poor weather, that number drops dramatically as safety margins increase. The technology supporting modern air traffic control is remarkable. ASDX systems use radar and GPS to track aircraft movement with incredible precision. Automated systems now handle much of the routine coordination between different control sectors, freeing controllers to focus on the complex decisions that require human judgment. Yet despite all this technological advancement, the fundamental responsibility remains unchanged. Human controllers make the final decisions. The physical and mental demands of this job are so intense that federal regulations limit controllers to 2-hour shifts before mandatory breaks. The stress level is comparable to that of emergency room doctors or fighter pilots. Every decision carries weight, and the consequences of error are unforgiving. Controllers describe the work as simultaneously exhausting and addictive. Few other careers offer this level of responsibility and immediate impact. Training to become a fully qualified air traffic controller can take up to 5 years. Candidates must master complex procedures, develop lightning-fast decision-making skills, and learn to remain calm under extreme pressure. The average salary reflects this expertise. Experienced controllers can earn well over $100,000 annually, with positions at major airports being among the most sought after in the field. What makes this job even more challenging is the domino effect of decisions. When a major airport experiences delays, the ripple effects spread across the entire aviation network. A weather event in Atlanta can delay flights in Los Angeles. A runway closure in Chicago affects connections in Europe. Controllers are acutely aware that their local decisions have global consequences. The human stories behind the statistics are compelling. Controllers describe the satisfaction of solving complex traffic puzzles, the adrenaline rush of managing crisis situations, and the pride of keeping the aviation system running smoothly. They develop an almost supernatural awareness of their airspace, instantly recognizing when something is out of place or when weather conditions are about to complicate operations. As we look toward the future, air traffic control faces new challenges. Drone integration, supersonic passenger aircraft, and continued growth in air travel all require innovative solutions. Yet the fundamental mission remains constant, safely separating aircraft while maximizing efficiency. The next time you're sitting in an aircraft waiting for takeoff clearance, remember that somewhere above you, a controller is managing a three-dimensional puzzle of incredible complexity. They're calculating separation distances, monitoring weather patterns, coordinating with other facilities, and making split-second decisions that affect thousands of people. In those few seconds between contact ground and have a safe flight, an entire system of human expertise and technological capability has worked flawlessly to keep you safe. This is air traffic control, where every day brings new challenges, where split-second decisions matter, and where a small group of dedicated professionals keeps the miracle of flight operating smoothly across our skies.